Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're doing well by Allah's grace. Today I'm going to share some very important tips for easy memorization of the Qur'an. Do listen till the very end because even the last point is as important as the first one. So if you have already made the intention of memorizing the Qur'an, the first and the most important step is to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua to Allah to make it easy for you, to keep you steadfast, and to give you success in completing the memorization of the Qur'an. The second thing is you do it only for the sake of Allah. You memorize the Qur'an with sincerity, that is, you have ikhlas, your intention, your efforts, your motive, everything is only to please Allah alone. Now coming to the third point, it is you have to plan. Give yourself daily, weekly and monthly goals. That is, on the number of verses or the number of pages or a part of the page, whatever you will be learning in a day, in a week and in the end of the month. Okay, after that, coming to memorization of the Qur'an, there is actually a tried and tested method which makes it much easier for you to memorize the Qur'an. So in that method, first we familiarize with the words that we are going to learn. So you open your mushaf and you recite the verse by looking in the mushaf for at least 12 to 18 times. After that, you recite the same verse, but now in a more focused manner, in a way where you're trying to memorize the verse. So now you are trying to memorize the verse and you repeat the verse in that way for 10 to 14 times by looking in the mushaf. By the end of this, you would have memorized the verse. After this, you close the mushaf and now you try to recall the verse without looking in the mushaf. Now you recite the verse without looking in the mushaf for at least 7 times. Once you've done that, you open the mushaf and you again recite it by looking in the mushaf for 5 more times. Now what this does is it actually creates a photographic imprint of the location and the words of the verse in the Qur'an. So, there's many similar ayats or many similar verses that will come in the future. So if you're going in this way, you will not get confused when a similar verse comes. Okay, now coming to the fifth point is revision. Revision is the key to long-term memory. What you've learned today, you revise it tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and until you get perfect. You mark the weak parts, the weak verses, and you revise that again and again, and you focus on that more. Revision should be done daily. Okay, so one day exclusively for revision, but even on the other days you should be revising. Now coming to the sixth point, don't rush. Don't be in a hurry to complete. Take your time, but do it consistently. Always remember, progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. Don't do 2 pages in a day and just stop. Okay? Or don't do 2 pages for 2 days and stop. No. It's okay if you do 2 verses a day, just 3 verses a day. There is a hadith where our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentions that the most beloved deeds to Allah are those that are done regularly and constantly, even if they are little. Coming to the seventh point, you have to discipline yourself. This is so important. To reach any goal in your life, to reach success, you have to discipline yourself. You have to be patient with yourself. Allot a specific amount of time each day for Qur'an. You have to fight your desires, the distractions and the deviations. There will be a lot of distractions, especially now, that will be coming from shaitan. Now remember, you are human. You might lose motivation. It's okay if you take a break. It's okay if you have a gap. But what is very important after this is that you restart. You can always restart. You restart once, you restart twice, you restart thrice, you restart 10 times over again, or even 100 times. But you don't give up. Okay? It's these efforts that you're making that Allah sees. He sees and He loves that you are fighting your desires for His sake. He loves that you're struggling and striving and picking yourself up again and again for Him. And He will give you success, inshaAllah. In the end, I would like to remind you that life is made up of fleeting moments which will never return. So use your time wisely. Be kind to people around you. Forgive and cherish your loved ones. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.